This is lesson 8 in rates and ratios. It's on speed, and speed is a practical application of rates. It's a measure of how fast an object is moving, and the formula for speed, or average speed, is distance travelled divided by time, or S equals distance over time. Now, depending on what value you need to find, whether it's speed, distance or time, you can manipulate the formula to look like any of these. And I know those people who follow science in your science classes will use this triangle quite a bit, because it's a quick way of working out how we work out speed, distance or time. So for example, if you want to find speed, then you normally put your finger over the speed, and to find speed it would be distance divided by time. If you put your finger over distance, which means you want to find distance, then distance is found by speed times time. And if you want to find time using the formula, well, put your finger over the time and you're going to use distance divided by speed, okay, to find time. Now let's look at some examples. So example 1, it says find the average speed in kilometers per hour of a cyclist who travels 140 kilometers in 5 hours. Well, I like to write it as a fraction and say, well, I've got 140 kilometers over 5 hours, and if I divide that, I will get my answer in kilometers per hour. So if I grab my calculator, which is right here, and do 140 divided by 5, I'll get an answer of 28 kilometers per hour. Now, next question. A runner travels 3 kilometers in 15 minutes. What's their average speed in kilometers per hour? Well, again, I'm going to write a fraction. 3 kilometers in 15 minutes. Okay. Now, what I want to do is to change these 15 minutes into 1 hour. And how do I do that? Well, I would times it by 4. Because 15 times 4 is 60 minutes, which is an hour. Now, because I've changed this fraction by timesing the bottom by 4, I really need to times the top by 4. Okay, so 15 minutes times 4 is 60 minutes, which is an hour. 3 times 4 is 12 kilometers. So my answer is 12 kilometers per hour. Example 2 says find the distance travelled by a truck travelling 15 hours at an average speed of 95 kilometers per hour. Well, here's my formula. Speed equals distance over time. Now, because we want to find distance, I'm going to take the t and bring it up to the s, which means it's divided by on this side, just like an equation, which means it's times on this side. So my distance is going to equal speed times t. Now my speed is 95. My time is 15. So if I grab my calculator, 95 times 15 is 1,425 kilometers. Alright, example 3. It says find the time taken for a hiker walking 4 kilometers an hour to travel 15 kilometers. So let's write out our formula. Speed equals distance over time. Now, in this particular question, I've got speed and I've got distance. I need to find time. So what I'm going to do with this formula is to swap the S and the T around. So T will equal D over S. From our question, our distance is 415 kilometers. Our speed is 4 kilometers per hour. So on our calculator, we will do 15 divided by 4, which will equal 3.75 hours. And if you wanted that answer in hours and minutes, well, that's 3 hours, 3/4 of an hour, 45 minutes. Alright, last example. It says convert 72 kilometers per hour into meters per second. Now, again, I like to write it as a fraction. 72 kilometers over 1 hour. We want to change it to meters per second, which means I need to have on top meters and I need to have down the bottom seconds. So, changing 72 kilometers into meters, I'm going to times by 1,000 to get 72,000 meters over, now 1 hour, I need to change to seconds. So 1 hour times 60 would be 60 minutes, and 60 minutes times 60 seconds gives me an hour. So my calculation is 72,000. Let's grab our calculator. On top, 72,000. On the bottom, 60 times 60, which will equal 20. So that means my answer will be 20 meters per second. Alright, part B. Convert 8 meters per second into kilometers per hour. So, 8 meters per second means that in 1 second, I can travel 8 meters. In 60 seconds, right, so 1 second equals 8 meters, so 60 seconds will equal 8 times 60 meters. And so 60 seconds to 1 hour is timesing by another 60, so 8 times 60 times 60 meters, which equals, get a calculator, do 8 times 60 times 60 equals 28,800 meters in an hour, and then we change that to kilometers by dividing by 1,000, which will be 28.8 kilometers per hour.